Good morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's chat. I want to jump in first things first and thank Doug for last week. So Doug did, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the replay. I did. Doug did a Chantelle-esque stream, which I thought was great. I originally was like looking at the thumbnail thinking, that looks very familiar. I wonder what he's going for here. And then the stream was just so much fun. And I think Doug should do more streams like that as well. I might be biased towards the more relaxed conversational streams because that's where I tend to lean towards. But I think that Doug just rocked it. So let me know in the chat if you caught Doug's stream last week at this time and what you thought about it. So I really enjoyed it. I loved it, and I'm really, really glad that he did that. Next thing is first person off the first cab off the rank was Livestream Consultants. Great to see you. Let's light this candle. Yeah, let's get this doing. What was it? What's this one? You'll have to do a Doug-esque stream in the future. That could be interesting. Going through and getting all the news and setting it all up in a Doug style situation. That could be a lot of fun. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, so one thing I wanted to talk about, like I had a week away. I went away to the beach. I got really badly sunburned, so I've got like all skin treatment on to try and deal with it. I'm peeling like you wouldn't believe. And so I'm very sorry that I'm extra shiny. And I've just realized I've left the window open, and therefore I do have a reflection on my glasses, which probably bugged me more than you. And I also have water and tea. Got all the things. I'm like ticking off all the boxes. Tick, 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 tick. Actually, one thing I didn't do was I didn't do a speed test. So good luck. Good luck, stream. Hope it goes well. So professional. Yeah, I'll have to put a TV behind me. I don't have a TV that I can just put up there. And I'll tell you what, the instructions on this particular IKEA, every second word is do not put a TV on this. It's really funny. This cannot take a TV. Do not put a TV on this. You're like, okay, IKEA, I get it. I'm going to put yarn on it and lights. How about that? And so, yeah. But I had a week away, and it gave me a good time to think. Now, I was still doing a little bit of work while I was away, but mostly not. I didn't do any of my live streams. Just sort of kept my finger on the pulse of a few things. And one of the things I was sort of really thinking about while I was overlooking the beautiful Coolum Beach from the apartment that we rented, it was very nice. It was lovely. Was like, what would my life like? What would life look like if I was successful, right? And then that progresses on and builds its own questions like, what is success? What is my definition of success? And I know we've touched on this before, but as life changes, as we change, as we learn, as we grow, other things around it changes, our ideas change. And that is actually just part of being human. So it's definitely okay for things to change, right? So your opinion of something could change with more education. Your ideas of success can change as you go through life and your life changes. So many years ago, when I very first started on this journey, my idea of success was being able to earn some income while still being at home and available for everything my daughter needed. So whether it was school excursions or, parents coming in and reading with the students when they were in much younger grades and things like that, I wanted to not miss out on all of that. So my idea of success was very different than what it is now. It's still, because I was in my brain, I always thought it was a dollar figure. So let me know in the chat, what is your idea of success? Is it like an X amount of dollars per year, or is it something else? So let me know in the chat where you're all at as well. But I realized for myself, and it's something that Justin Brown really did hammer in for a long time. And I kind of was just like, yeah, okay, cool. It's just, okay. So lifestyle is cool if you're already earning like a boatload of money. But because I was sort of lifestyle as like a rich and famous kind of lifestyle. I didn't just think of lifestyle as the style of my life, which is exactly what it is. Do you know what I mean? And so while I was, feet up with my knitting in my lap, looking out over the beautiful ocean, in this ridiculously beautiful apartment, and I was just sort of thinking about what is success? Like, is it this? Is it this sort of this fancier lifestyle? Like, because you know what it's like when you rent a holiday unit sort of thing. They're always, well, ours always seem to be nicer than our house. I don't know if that says more about our house or about the accommodations we're renting. I don't know. But, it's like, do I want that? And I realized there were so many things about that apartment that looked luxurious that were actually like annoying. That was just like really annoying. So it was just like it made you think deeper about what it is you actually wanted. So for me, it is lifestyle. It is a lifestyle that I want, but I don't want the jetting about the world and skiing in, fancy places that you invite only for personal slopes, having your own planes, which car should I drive today? Should I drive the Lamborghini or the Ferrari? And that is okay if that's the lifestyle you want, because it's the other thing. There's no wrong answers here. There's no wrong answers, because what it is that is your goal and that you want to aim for and you want to do, there's no wrong answers. It's just we all have a different idea. And it makes me really think about something that Gary Vaynerchuk said many years ago. He came to Brisbane and did a talk, and I probably mentioned this before as well. And he was talking about how success looks different for everybody. For some people, earning $250,000 a year is failure. It's not enough. Whereas for other people, earning $80,000 a year is perfect. And it really just depends on what it is that that you have or you want to have in your life. And so now that our daughter's finished school and we're not thinking about school fees anymore, and we're not thinking about like working around school holidays and things like that, what our life would look like if I was successful. And I realized I don't think I'm far off. I think just a little bit more work and I will be where I want to be. Because I don't want the luxurious life. I want a comfortable lifestyle, but I'm also that person that wants to be able to put her feet up on the couch. I don't want the couch that's so posh that you can't put your feet on it. I want to be able to lean back and put my feet up on the coffee table and knit, you know what I mean? Or have a footstool. I buy footstools now. I'm so well off that I now have a footstool. Instead of using the coffee table. But yeah, so it's just, like we all have these different things. Like, is it having enough space in your home to have a separate studio? Like, that's what we have now here. And that's a luxury for some people. For me, I think if I didn't have it, I would go insane and I probably wouldn't stream as regularly. So for me, it's nearly like it's a necessity, but for some people it's a luxury. And that's the other thing to consider. What might be a necessity for you is a luxury for somebody else, and vice versa. So let's have a look here in the chat, because you guys are all chatting. Good morning, Amazing Yacht Destinations. Great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Froggy316, so good to see you as well. Livestream Consultant says the apartments are not always nicer, they're just cleaner and not lived in. That's actually a really valid point. That's a very valid point, because I just want to point out that when you have an apartment that's got 2 bedrooms and space for 4 people sleeping, 4 coffee cups is not enough. We had 2 people and 4 coffee cups wasn't enough, because you have 1 coffee cup and then you have a cup of tea. So you've got to use separate cups. Well, I do. I can't put tea in a coffee cup, like as in a cup that's had coffee in it without it being washed in between. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, they need more coffee cups. Amazing Yacht Destination says, for me, the lifestyle of freedom, not to worry about to work or where money will come from, and not stuck in a job. Okay, I like that. Doug found the Make It Rain. I put in a couple of new GIFs in the GIF list. So if you spot those, you can use those. Livestream Consultant says, personal experience here, but scraping by at 100,000 a year income in California versus living comfortably on 40,000 a year in southern Mexico, food for thought. Absolutely. Location makes a huge difference. And this is the thing, if you're a person who absolutely wants to live in California, then your goal is going to need to be that higher income if you want to have the same comforts of life as those who are living in the less expensive place. That's a big part. That's a huge part. Like where we are, like absolutely love the Sunshine Coast, and if I had the opportunity, I would move there in a heartbeat. It's my happy place. It's where I tend to go for all of my breaks and holidays, various places along the Sunshine Coast of Queensland. And it's driving distance for me, so that makes it like less expensive to do. But it's not where we live. We live in Logan, which is because we can afford our house here. And well, I mean, it wasn't Logan when we bought the house, it was the Gold Coast. But it was the northern Gold Coast. It's nowhere near a beach, right? But we live in Logan because when we bought the house, it was in a range that we could afford comfortably and not be worrying about our mortgage repayments. We probably could have bought a house on the Sunshine Coast, but I would not have been able to have that lifestyle of being able to work less or work a different style of job. So it's when Fiberific first started up. To be able to do the things I wanted to do with my daughter at her school. I wanted to be able to come in and do the parent reading time and the parent assisting the teachers and picking her up and dropping her off and all that sort of stuff. When if she's sick, I can just pop in and grab her. There's there's absolutely no issues with having to call into work and I've got to go home, my daughter's sick. Just being able to just drop everything and go. That was a decision that we made, and our lifestyle allowed for that. So that's been fantastic. Doug found dumpster fire. That's so cool. Yeah. I also agree with the statement that the Sunshine Coast is greater than the Gold Coast. I know that's a tough one. There's plenty of people who love the Gold Coast, but the Sunshine Coast for me. Amazing Yacht Destination says Mooloolaba was awesome when I was there. Mooloolaba is awesome. It was actually not that far from where I was staying. Livestream Consultant says, just need to get you monetized on this channel and then you can move up to the big time on the Sunshine Coast. Yeah, I don't know if that will be enough. It's quite expensive to move up there. It's like the difference between California and New Mexico. Between Logan and the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, it's definitely that sort of thing. But just knowing what your goal is can just make such a huge difference. Knowing what you're striving towards, knowing if it's a realistic goal, and goals don't actually have to be realistic, but if you know if it's a realistic goal or not, you can make like mini goals to know you're succeeding. Because I don't know about you, but my brain needs these little yay, we won inputs every now and again, right? Because if I just feel like I'm constantly slogging, I get so drained and I get, what am I even doing this for? Like, what is even the point? I'm never winning. I'm not doing anything I want to be doing. And I was in that place probably for a couple of years. Like basically sort of after Abby finished school and I was no longer needed for any of that sort of stuff and like, not having enough work to sort of make up for having this time available. And I was in this sort of place of like, well, what am I even doing now? Do I need to just stop doing this and go and do something else? Like what? But understanding what our goals are and what we're aiming towards for success. And like, this is not just financial success. Okay. Now I need to be really clear here because quite often we look at success as the dollars. It's not always the dollars. It's for me, success is the freedom of being able to make choices and not being sort of backed into a corner where you've got no options. So having that freedom to make choices, the freedom to decide if you're going to be, not having a break this year at all versus having a break. Do you know what I mean? Like, so all these different freedoms. So the freedom to be able, like, if my husband's got a Friday off, the freedom to be able to go, you know what, we're going to go out for breakfast together on Friday, and I'll come back and do some work later. And being able to make these decisions, for me, that's success. And bringing in some income to take the pressure off the family is totally part of that. It's not that there's no monetary goals attached to what I consider success, but I think it's a broader picture where sometimes the money can help get to these particular things that I really want, which for me is the freedom and the lifestyle. And so, and by lifestyle, I don't just mean lifestyles of the rich and famous, but just just how I want to live my life. Like, I want to be able to just, you know, if I'm feeling so inspired to go and sit down and crochet something, it'd be really nice to have the time to do that and not be like, okay, next Thursday I will have my live stream and I can crochet then. Can I crochet that? No. All right, so the following week, do you know what I mean? Like, being able to just make the time for the things that you love. So let me know in the chat. Am I totally off target here? Am I like out with the fairies, or are you on the same page here? Let me just look here. Because like that, and the other thing I want to say is there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be that big income money earner. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you understand why you want that money, that will help you to push forward to it. It'll help you to get there. So let me know in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, where you are. Are you where you want to be? Is your current work like helping you get to your lifestyle, or is the lifestyle that you want like a level of 1 to 10? Let me know. Because from where am I at? I would say I'm probably at about probably a 7, maybe an 8, sort of in that region. I'm not at 10, but I'm not at 1, and I feel like I'm a bit more past halfway. So I'm thinking that 7 or 8 kind of area, and I think that that's definitely a thing for me. But yeah, it's definitely been a big week for me of just chilling and relaxing and thinking and sort of having my feet up. I did hurt my knee while I was away. I made the mistake of like, let's go and walk on the beach with a janky knee, and then had to walk through a lot of loose sand, and my knee just went, you know what? I hate you. Crunch. So it's just like, oh, okay. So let's go and sit down for a little while, shall we? So Doug says he's at about a 5. So you're at about halfway where you want to be. And is there do you have a plan of what you're going to do to get to where you want to be? Like, do you have an end destination of where you want to be? Amazing Yacht Destination says, I think you're on the right path. I'm currently at a -2. I'm really sorry that you're at a -2. Last year was a major setback, but working to get back on track. It's a big one. It's a big one. Good one, Doug. You're right. I do need to hydrate. Yeah, it's a tough one, because especially when we have setbacks. Like I had, like, you know, the setback a couple of years ago where it really messed with everything. And every thought that I had was sort of tinged with this imminent failure. Like, no matter what I do, it's going to be a failure. What's the point of even trying it? It's not going to succeed. You know, and I had this sort of imminent failure, like, looming constantly. And it really did taint everything around what I was doing, every decision I was making, every sort of idea I had. And it made me very, what's the word I'm looking for? I wish Russell was here. He would know the word. He's really good at like pointing out where, not so much that I was definitely fearful, and I was definitely more like reserved and pulled back, and like hyper cautious, like overly cautious, like not willing to do anything with risk. And as we all know, if we're doing this kind of thing, there's risk. So Doug says that for him to get past his 5, he needs to optimize making money online, more buckets, and also maximizing the ones that you have in place. Yeah, I can honestly say that, like, while the money isn't the goal, money helps you get to parts of the goals, if that makes any sense. Like getting some extra income in is usually pretty nice, right? Let me know in the chat if you agree. Like, oh, look, I've got extra money. I don't have to worry about things quite so much. Getting extra money in is very helpful and very nice. But for me, it helps me to do things that I want to do rather than just be like, I'm a, 6-figure entrepreneur. Whenever somebody does that, I'm always a bit like, wow, okay, that's great. What are you doing outside of that? Like, what's your lifestyle like? And some of them are fantastic. Some of them are like getting to do exactly what they want to do. They're just being able to live the life that they want to live, and that's cool. And then the others are just grinding constantly and actually don't have anything outside of the fact that they are this whatever figure entrepreneur. And I didn't want that for myself. I mean, it's not that not having the money would be nice, but I don't want that mindset. I don't want that one thing to latch onto. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Not that money is bad. Money is not bad. Money pays for all the tech. Money pays for the yarn. Money pays for the power, or the electricity, all my gadgets. The money does help, but it's not the end goal, because we all hear those stories of like people who've just crushed and worked and grind their whole life, and then they get to a certain age and they look around and there's nothing else, and they realize they've left everything else behind. They've sacrificed it all to earn this sort of income and this money. And I think the saddest story is when people sacrifice everything to grind constantly, and they put everything else on hold in their lives. There's no balance. And then at the end, they still don't have like anything to show for it. So they've got no money, but they also have ruined family relationships. They've missed everything. They've, put work above everything, and therefore they've severed all their human ties as well. Livestream Consultant says, for me, more money just expedites the plan that is already in motion. That is awesome. Doug says 100%. Yes, it's just, I don't know. I do think about, like, I come back from holidays and stuff and my brain has been just grinding away doing stuff. It doesn't stop, my brain, when I'm going on holidays. It might drop back a gear or something, but it doesn't stop. Yeah, hello Yetis. I'm Team Yeti today. I got Yeti tea and Yeti water. I made my Yeti tea just a bit hot. I might take the lid off to let it cool down a little. Can I do that without spilling it everywhere is the question. No. The answer is, oh, there we go. Drop that lid so we don't drop tea everywhere. Let that cool down. That was very hot. That was too hot. Not safe. Not safe. My mouth's like okay. So, I'm just like checking my notes, because I do have a couple of notes here. I didn't make huge amounts of notes, but I made a couple of notes. So, what is your like non-negotiable? What's the thing that that no matter how much money is offered to you, or whatever it is that you're working, that what's your non-negotiable? And I don't know if I actually have a non-negotiable. Like, do you like no weekends, or you either no travel, or there has to be travel, or X amount of dollars per month? Like, what is your non-negotiable that absolutely has to do the thing? So, because I'm like, I don't mind a bit of travel. I mean, I sort of look around at some of my creative friends and they seem to constantly be traveling and constantly be away from their family. And I don't know if that would be for me. I don't know if it's a non-negotiable as a permanent thing, but I don't know if it would be my ideal situation, but a little bit of travel is okay. I'm all right with a couple of trips. That would be all right. Let me think. I mean, I don't mind working weekends. I don't mind working weekends. It just depends on what I'm doing. I have to enjoy it. If I'm going to work the weekend, it has to be enjoyable work. Um, so yeah. When you're on holidays, you are just in overdrive with the cruise control set to just under the speed limit. Yeah. Yeah, that's possibly what it is. Hey, Home Rapid Repair, great to see you. I find that when one is young, they will do a lot for money, but as one ages, they often will value their time more than money. Yeah, and look, I don't think that's a bad thing in itself, but I think it'd be nice if we understood, and I'm seeing a lot more balance now, which I like to hear, because we all know that there was like that super, like the hustle culture, like you got to be grinding all the time. Like, why would you go to the movies with friends when you could be grinding? And, why would you go and spend a weekend at your mum's house but when you could be grinding? You know what I mean? Like, there's this whole hustle culture thing, and it seems to be balancing back out now. So I'm kind of happy about that. Because there's nothing like, I'm like, there's a time for hustle, right? There's absolutely a time for hustle. Is it constant 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? No. No, it's not, because that is, let's just destroy our entire physical being and not be able to get up in a week. But yeah, let's have a look here. Strange thing was, Malulabar was where I picked up Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. It totally changed my way of looking at success. Interesting. I don't know that one. I'm going to have a look at it. And I'm going to do something here just for you. Let me just find where my chat is. Where's my chat? I've lost my chat. My chat's gone. Hang on a second. It's in a different tab. Come back tab. Here you go. And that's how we spell Malulabar. It's a weird one. It's Malulabar. Malulabar. Let's have a look here. Everyone's saying howdy. So that is cool. No, it's cool. Like, I just, it's just sort of give it to you for that one. Home Rapid Repair says that he was watching the new Gordon Ramsay documentary on I'm assuming it's documentary on Netflix, and now at 69, even he is saying he's not the hard, excuse me, the hard charging hell on wheels he used to be. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I got the phonetic spelling too, and that did sound right. That was phonetically correct. I just thought, you can have the, if anyone wants to Google Malulabar and see what we're talking about, they might need the other spelling. But yeah, no, and your phonetic spelling was right. Absolutely. Although he still looks pretty tough in the new documentary. Yeah, like, this is the thing. Our lives change. Seasons of life change, right? And it's definitely, as I was saying before, like when we're younger, we're grinding, we're doing more stuff. We've got different priorities. And then as we start aging up, like I was saying, for me, mine changed when my daughter was no longer at school. So it's like a whole life change. Like, especially if you're a mum and you've been sort of technically a available at home mum all the time, not necessarily a stay-at-home mum, but when that is no longer required, there's like this whole sort of shift. And I know it's the same for sort of everybody when they move through different parts of their lives. But yeah, it's just one of these things that's, I don't know. I definitely think understanding the goal of where you want to be can help you get there, rather than being like, I just want to be somewhere else that's not here. Like, that's cool. That's good to know that you don't want this, but you want something else. And that's a good starting point. But understanding what that next goal, and it's not necessarily even the end goal, but what the next goal is. Because for me, and I could be alone in this for sure, but having the idea of what the next goal is, like having the next goal can be really helpful to get you there, to understand where you're going. It's like driving on a highway, but there's no signs. You're just driving because you like driving, but actually, where are you going? So, oh, look, seriously, some of the names in Australia for things are just like similar. So I would have thought that that would have been like that would have been pronounced Juarez, and you said it's Juarez. But yeah, same thing here. We've got other languages naming things, so it's just they're just different. They're just different words, and even my husband, when we first moved from interstate to Queensland, he was saying some of the suburb names, and I was just like, "Where are we going?" And it took me a little, it took me a little minute to work it out. But time, yeah. Maroochydore is another one. Maroochydore, and they're right near each other. So, Sunshine Coast is actually a fairly large part of Queensland. Well, it's a fairly large part. It's not just like Brisbane. It's like a greater region. It's like I don't know how to describe it. Sunshine Coast has the beaches and has the mountains as well, and it's just this region that's just really beautiful. You can just Google it and look at pictures. I'll probably post a photo of two of my trip. I tried to do that more once I get home rather than while I'm away. But it was just lovely, and I didn't really do a lot. I just relaxed and did some knitting and watched some TV and put my feet up. Especially considering the first day I got so badly sunburned. Like, this is nothing. This has calmed down so much. I was a lobster who should have known better. Seriously. I know that just because you're wearing a hat when you're at the beach doesn't mean you're not going to get your face sunburnt because the sun reflects off the water. I know that. But what I want to know is how I got sunburnt past my hat line. I was wearing a cap. So it's not like it had little holes where the sun could come in. It was solid fabric. How did the sun get under the hat? Anyway, it was very painful for a couple of days, and so my brain really latched onto the how did the sun get here kind of thing. It's not good. Let's have a look here. And for reference, El Paso, Texas is the same distance from the Sunshine Coast is from you, and I make that trip 3 times a month for various reasons. Yeah, look, I used to actually drive up to the Sunshine Coast every week for because I worked for a lady up there doing crochet work for her, and I would drop off stuff and pick up stuff, and I drive up there every week. It's not a hard drive, and it's not that far, but the lifestyle is totally different, and I really love it. I just love it. Leanne's here. It's great to see you, Leanne. Was there an overcast day that you didn't wear your hat? So we got there Sunday night. It was bucketing with rain. Monday was still bucketing with rain, but I didn't actually go outside that much because it was absolutely torrential weather and it was so windy and the gale. We didn't even open the sliding doors that much on the unit because the gale force wind was just blowing the rain in. And we were like, we may not have picked the best time to come. But then the very next day that it fined up and it was pretty bright sun for most of it after that. Cause yeah, see, I was doing the same thing. Amazing, yeah. Just like when could it have got me? When could it have got me? I think the one time, like I do know that I was sitting out on the balcony and I was under the shade of the balcony. I was in the shade. I know because I made a conscious decision. But maybe something was reflecting and getting me there. I didn't have my hat on for that. So maybe that, I don't know. I don't want to do it again. Very painful for a few days and it's very peeling, very not comfortable. Very not comfortable. For me, where I am is very rural. El Paso is big city, everything, noise, household, population density, etc. Yeah, see, whereas I'm in the more dense population area and the Sunshine Coast is the more, it's not really rural, but it's less densely populated. Or at least parts of it are. The parts I go are less densely populated. I may have also bought a prize home ticket while I was there. There was a very nice looking house that was like the money was going to a really fantastic charity that I like, the Endeavour Foundation. And so I was just like, let's buy some tickets in this house. Someone's got to win it. Probably won't be me. And at least the Endeavour Foundation will have a bit of extra cash to do the stuff they do. But if I do win it, I'm moving there. We've already had the discussion because, you know, I've been harping on about it since we bought the tickets. Like, right, when we move to a house, and it's one of those instances where it's like you can either take out the house or the cash, and you're just like, you know what? I think in this instance, I'd probably take the house. I think I would. So it's a tough one because, you know, sometimes you go to these houses and you're like, it'd be pretty hard to actually live in this house. It's a bit more of a show home. This one was good. But yeah, so I don't know what else I want to talk about. Do you guys have any questions? You got any YouTubey stuff? I'm a little bit behind on the news. I've been trying to catch up because that was one of the things I didn't do while I was away. I didn't keep up on all the YouTubery news and states of the nations and what have yous. But, you know, I have some knowledge still that might just be a little bit outdated by a week. Let's see. If only there was a place. Yeah, you can absolutely, you can totally get sunburn off water reflection. It could have been that. I'm just like, I was next to the water and our apartment overlooked the water. But yeah, it could have been that. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to do it again. Like, no. Yeah, it definitely, it didn't come from snowburn. We know that for certain. It was not snowburn. Definitely not. Oh. Oh, did you see the Chantelle impersonator last Monday in your time slot? I have. We discussed it right at the start, but I will discuss that again. Last week on Doug's Saturday live stream, he was like, Chantelle will be live streaming, and I was just like, no, I won't. And so he was like, oh, maybe I'll do that stream. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. And then on Monday, sort of later in the day, I actually missed the stream. I got a text message from a friend saying, hey, did you catch the stream? It was really good. I was like, no, I didn't see it. But it was just so funny because I'm like looking at the thumbnail, I'm like, that looks just so familiar. And then I've gone, oh, Doug, you've literally just lifted my thumbnail and stuck your face on it. And you know, like, we know that there's people out there who are doing that. Like Doug was doing it in a fun way and it was intentionally to do what it was supposed to do. But there are people out there who seriously lift other creators' thumbnails and stick their own faces on it and then just use that and pass it off as their own. And you're just like, oh man. But yeah, I thought the thumbnail was perfect as well. It was so good. Yeah, Sarah, I have sunburnt the tops of my feet. That was bad enough. I've also had a really fun sunburn because I float, right? And I can sleep floating. And I fell asleep floating and I had the perfect waterline sunburn. So that was also a fun one. At least I could lay on my back, you know. So I've lived on a lot of islands my whole life, and I'm this pale little creature. So I've had a lot of sunburns. But not recently. I've tried very hard to stay out of the sun recently, and you know, you get melanoma and you're like, no more sun for me. There's no more sun ever. And then there is sun. And it gets you. Even when you're trying to be good. But yeah, no, Doug's stream last week was so fun. I really loved excuse me, I really loved that he lifted the thumbnail and used the thumbnail. And then he also used the same theme music at the start as well. I thought that was really cool. That was like really, like, whose channel are we going to right now? So I thought that was really fun as well. So I just thought it was really fun. I loved how relaxed Doug seemed while he was doing it and how he was having fun with it. And I thought that was pretty cool too. But yeah, Sarah said that was fun. Yep. And Leanne says that she did watch the replay and that was fun. You're keeping me company whilst I finish the border of a blanket. Wish me luck. Good luck. Good luck. One thing I did do while I was on my break was I was researching, because like I always like to learn new things, right? I gotta think. I love learning new things, whether it's technology or craft or whatever. And I realized there was 2 crochet techniques, and I, in my brain, just thought they were different names for the same thing, because that happens. And they were not. So now I'm like, now I need to learn how to do interlocking crochet, because I can do mosaic crochet, but I've never tried interlocking. So that's going to be something I do this year, just, as an aside. So yeah, Fibble, that's right. I love that one. That one's so fun. But yeah, so, I was sort of kicking back and just looking at some of the things that I want to learn this year. And so some software for work I want to learn, just some of the back end stuff that we're using. And that is totally the appropriate response to Fibble. Absolutely. But yeah, some of the things that I want to learn for work, just to be better at and to be better equipped to help out the team that I'm working with, and sort of get better at that. I'm also looking at a thing to make sure I'm not dropping the ball on any of the tasks that I already have set. So like I've got this quite long list of things that I need to sort of just check on every day and just make sure I'm getting those done so I don't miss anything, because every now and again I do miss things, and it's not through any kind of like intentionality. It's just I get sucked into something else that I'm working on, and whether or not it's the priority, it's not always the priority, but whatever it is, sometimes I forget that I need to do this other little thing, or I'm running out of time to get this little thing done or whatever. And so I'm trying to build that out. So if you guys have got any recommendations for like, not so much a timekeeping software, but like a checklisting software that I can use that just maybe, if Doug's going to BRB, turn the mic off. But yeah, like, and preferably something I can have on my phone. If you've got like know of an app that I can use, that can just sort of remind me to get different things done at different times of the day. I used to have an app that Nick had, but he sort of discontinued it, which was a shame because I really liked it and it helped me to keep on top of all the little bits and bobs I have to do, and now I don't have that one anymore. But yeah, so I really want to have something like that. So if you're using something like that, please let me know. I have a lot of different projects that I'm working across, and I don't like missing things. It does bug me. So I try very hard not to miss things, but I am also a human person with a squirrel mind. So so I don't actually have any recommendations of any that I've tried yet. So I don't know the answers yet, but maybe we can test some stuff out. I was also looking at whether or not I'm going to be doing some of the Ecamm like the dual screen, like what Doug's doing, and I made the decision that no, I am not a beta person for this channel, especially for this channel. I am a what is out of the box and tested and already set to go. Now with Ecamm, they're pretty good at even their betas being pretty stable, but I really wanted it to be like a no, if you just get Ecamm, these are the things that you can use kind of thing. So yeah. Sarah says she just makes copious use of Google Calendar. It works about 95% of the time, and 5% of the time it fails and I flail. Yeah, I need something that's more, not so much like date centric is fine, so calendar could work, but more just like, click this link and go and do this task, and go into this page and do this thing, and go into this page and do this thing, and go into this page and do this thing, go into this software to do this thing, and just have it all so I don't get sidetracked. Like, so, I've got to go into Facebook to moderate some stuff in Facebook and to do some various tasks for some different clients in Facebook. And then while I'm there, I might get sidetracked and read my own wall and do my own thing, like, because I've got to open Facebook and go to my thing. And, whereas like with the Nick thing, it would literally open on the page I wanted, and I could do that and then click back and go back to my list rather than back to somewhere else in Facebook. Maybe I should just contact Nick and go, dude, can you please update that software and let me have it again? But maybe not. That's a bit selfish. Like, hey, I would like to be the only user of this software in the world, please. The other thing is maybe I'm just asking for too much. I'm just asking for something that no longer exists or doesn't exist anymore. And sometimes we have to move on. Like there's a particular person in one of the live stream chats, and he was very adamant that he could not be a YouTube creator without this particular editing software that was no longer available. And he was constantly asking about ways to jimmy things so that he could get access to this particular piece of editing software. And it's just like, dude, it's not available. You're going to need to learn something new. And he absolutely was convinced that there was no way he could continue to be a creator without this one piece of software. And sometimes we just have to accept that something is gone and we need to go through and learn the new thing or adjust to it and understand that it's not exactly what the other one was or whatever it is. As someone else with a distractible squirrel brain, what you've discussed is one of my nightmares. I use a Pomodoro timer so I at least interrupt the distractions. Yes, that's exactly that guy. That's exactly that guy. Yeah, and he was. I don't know, we haven't heard from him for a while. I haven't heard from him for a while. I've just received a notification that YouTube's not getting enough data to maintain my stream. So if I'm getting a bit swirly for you guys, that is why. Don't know why they're not receiving enough data. It's just I didn't change anything in my stream. So, but yeah, no. And that's the thing. Like sometimes we just have to accept that the thing that we're comfortable with is gone. And we have to learn the new thing. And, you know, if you want to keep doing this thing enough, you will learn the new thing. But if you're just looking for an excuse to not, then there it is on a silver platter. Your excuse to not. It did buffer. Oh, is it still buffering? Oh no, I'm back to good stream health. I'm back to excellent stream health. So weird. I did nothing different. So yeah. So when I open Instagram and Facebook, if I get distracted, I only get distracted to the end of whatever the Pomodoro timer is. Okay, I can see how that would work. Yeah. I've got an app that I use for some stuff to more stop me from playing on my phone, which is what's it called? It's the new Hank Green thing. It's a bean. It is a little bean. Yeah. What's it called? Man, where's my apps? Here he is. Focus Friend. And all it does is sets a timer, and if you don't play with your phone within that timer time, you earn some points to be able to build a little, you know, environment for your little bean to live in. And so it gamifies not playing on your phone, which is kind of funny in itself. But anyway, need more monetization to get you some Starlink. Look, I'm going to do a speed test right now. I don't think speed is the issue. Because usually I'm about 250 down and 80 to 100 gig up. And I think there's something that happens with, I think there's something that happens with Ecamm because it has its own sort of rates that it pushes through your streams. And if you're not sort of making it dynamic enough, like, you know, switching things and moving things and doing all that sort of stuff, it drops down the bitrate for whatever reason. And I'm not a fan of that. That's actually something I absolutely love about OBS, being able to set your own bit rates and being able to set your own stream rates and things like that. So currently, the middle of the day with my family home, my husband working from home as well, I've got 145 down and 80 up. So, yeah. And that stream test was just done right then. But yeah, so I don't think it's a streaming thing. I think it's a software, because I've tried Googling it, because like it's the, the whole bitrate thing. But Ecamm, they control that. You don't get to control that. So I have internet envy now. Yeah, I had internet envy for a very long time. When I first started my YouTube journey, I had 4 down and 2 up. And I had that for a very long time, and I would have to set my uploads to overnight. A 10-minute video could take 12 to 13 hours to upload. And if it failed, I had to start again. Things like that. So yeah, the Ecamm variable rate, I don't like it. I don't like it. Because it causes this problem. And there's nothing I can, as far as I'm aware, there's nothing I can do to stop it. And if you're doing like something like this, it's talking to a camera. It's not super, there's not scene shifting and exciting stuff happening. It's just conversation. Then I don't like that it does it. Yeah, time to go back to OBS. And there are days that I will just play in OBS, and I actually make sure that all my little scenes and everything are all set up in OBS as well. Actually, I haven't done it for a bit, so I've got an extra camera that's not actually set up in OBS at all. It's not currently even plugged in today. I unplugged it when I went away, but I haven't replugged it back in. But yeah, so, I tell you one funny thing that happened is, because when I went away and I shut everything down in here and turned everything off, and I shut the door, well, oh my gosh, my cat was so upset that there was a room he didn't have access to. The second I opened the door, he just came in, he just pushed past me and just came and like laid and just was touching everything and rolling around and just leaving his... I got more cat hair on my desk in one day than I normally do in like a week. I think he was definitely making up for lost time. Definitely. But yeah, so, cats. How dare I close access to a room for a whole week? Well, that's not straight. That's going to bug me. There we go. So I put the lid back on my cup and it was offside. I would have had to drink it like this. So, yeah. You have a spreadsheet for all the steps for all the things. I don't need so much I don't need the steps. I've got all, like, anything that has particular steps I've already made like looms of, so that there's video step throughs in case someone else needs to do the task instead of me. I make that as I go. But yeah, it's more just not missing a task. So yeah, that sounds about right. Our shadow cat has found the joy of my pillows and doesn't care if my head is on them. Oh, cats are hilarious. Abby sent us a video while we were away, and it's really made Tim chuckle so many times. And it's basically Abby talking to Tibbles the cat, and it's like, meow if you're annoying, and he goes meow, and then she cackles, and then Tim cackles when he watches it, and it just made me think of that. Yeah, Sarah, I think I need something that will like pop up and be like, hey, have you done this thing? Not something so much where like I need to go and open the spreadsheet and find the thing and do that. I need something that interrupts me. So like, because I have alarms set on my phone to remind me to do things like eat, because once I'm in the zone, I forget to do stuff. So, yeah, it's I don't know. Because like with the app that Nick had, you could set it to like how often you wanted it to interrupt you to check on things. So, yeah. And it just was like a little thing. But I mean, the spreadsheet is good to list out what you're doing so you know what's got to be done each day. And I have lists for each of the business groups I'm working with. to make sure I've got it all listed out so that when I get asked what I'm doing for the different groups, I can just send it. But yeah, I don't know. I probably am just overthinking it, to be honest. Probably am. Wouldn't be the first time. Certainly won't be the last. I always have a spreadsheet open during work hours, so I've just gotten into checking the alarms go to bed now. You've got the go to bed now alarm. Yep. No, I quite often don't have spreadsheets open, so because I'm working in various softwares or applications. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I could, but do you know, is there a way to make Google Sheets and Google Docs dark mode? Because that's why I turn them off, because there's this glaring white in the corner of my eye and I do everything in dark mode. So for me, it's like, oh, I've got to do something in Google Sheets. Okay, open that up, do it, shut it back down. But yeah, I definitely want dark mode. Do you have Microsoft Office? MS Planner works for me. It sets alarms. If I set, I've got, oh, sorry, my tummy's just playing up a little bit. I've got, I do have, what have I got? I've got like Microsoft. Do I have the whole Office suite? I definitely have, like, I pay for a subscription, and it's definitely got like Excel and Word, but I mostly use Google Docs now. So like as in Google and Google Sheets and stuff. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Gemini has dark mode, and I use Gemini in dark mode. But why can't Sheets and Docs be in dark mode? Like, is it like, is there, and also I don't want just like a random extension that just turns everything dark mode. They just don't work. They're rubbish. Oh, you can set the Google Docs to have a dark brown. I'll try and say that again. You can set Google Docs to have a dark background on all the docs you create. That's what I do. Not sure if you can do it with Google Sheets. I feel like you might be able to use notifications somehow to have things pop up. Yeah, there's got to be something, right? Like, I think there's got to be something. Now I'm going to go and open. I'm going to open my chat command sheet. So how do you choose? See, look how bright everything is now just because I opened that up. Got some people in the chat command sheet. You can set the Google Doc to have a dark background. How do I do that? Where is the? I'm gonna have to Google that. I'm gonna have to look it up, because anything to just like, it's blinding. It's blinding. I have everything else in dark mode. That's the difference between a page with dark mode and a page with light mode. And I like that. I don't like that. Like, I've like Google, YouTube has dark mode and everything else is dark mode. Why can't I have dark mode? Oh, I'm so sad. I know. It's like, why can't I have the thing I want? Also, you can't always have what you want. You just have to accept it. Oh, but yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Just, trying to make sure we get everything done. We don't miss things. And yeah, I'm just trying to be the good work person who doesn't drop the ball on people. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. So, yeah. If you have dark mode set as an accessibility feature on your computer, something like MS Office should pick it up, but yeah, Google Sheets doesn't. Yeah. I'm just going to, because I have my computer set to dark mode, I think. Settings. I think I do. Doug, am I imagining it, or was there something when I set up that said I like things in dark mode? I could have sworn there was, because all my Apple stuff is in dark mode. Oh, goodness me, my tummy is just playing up this morning. It didn't. Yeah, I can't think of it, but all my Apple menus and everything are in dark mode. Come back here. I just want that gone. Let me just open up an Excel spreadsheet and just see. Because off the top of my head, I think my Excel spreadsheets are bright white as well. If I was an Excel, why do you take so long to open? Seriously, Excel. Okay, so on Excel, can I screen share that? No, that's just screen sharing the browser. So on Excel, all the borders and everything are black, but the actual sheet itself is still white. So all like where the save is and where all the little, you know, formatting tools, that's all in black boxes or dark boxes, but then the actual sheet itself is still white. So that's annoying. All right. But yes, it picked up dark mode, so that's cool. Sheets and docs in browser. Yeah, they are in browser, so that is a difference. But surely there's got to be a way for, like, if you, like, I'm a dark mode person, please don't give me stuff in not dark mode. Yeah, Excel's, for Excel, I have the white for the sheet itself. Yes. And that's what I just saw then. So it was all dark around it, but then just white for the rest of it. So, yeah, I mean, that's at least it's something, I suppose. Just quit that because it's, funnily enough, an empty spreadsheet just spiked my usage on my computer. Cool beans for that. Excel, cool. I need to just kill that. That's just so bright. And, it's just too bright. Oh dear. All right. Well, I'm going to go off and I'm going to go and look at how to try and fix that with that, because I did try. There was a couple of different browser extensions for like making everything dark mode, and it didn't work on those. So that was just really frustrating. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, really. And like, I like dark mode. Dark mode is good. Let me know in the chat. Are you dark mode or light mode? I'm just like, dark mode is everything. And like, I know Sarah said she was light mode is life. So yeah, I'm here for the dark mode. Everything I can possibly set is in dark mode. I think even my Google emails, my Gmails are all in dark mode. Yeah, all my Gmail stuff is all in dark mode as well. So it's not like they don't know how to do dark mode, okay? It might be a mobile only thing, maybe. Sarah's light mode, Doug's dark mode. Oh, Livestream consultant sent a message with what his looks like. Let me have a look here. Oh, okay, so it's still all light around it, but the doc is dark. I see. So you set the color of the actual document, not the rest of it. Brain not functioning. But yeah, I see. I mean, that's less light, I suppose. Oh, it's a trap. Let me have a look here. Oh yeah, I think we need that one. I think I'll add trap in as well. That's cool. Yep. Livestream consultants is a dark moder. Excellent. So yeah. But yeah, it's just. It's a tough one. Especially when you've got everything set to dark mode and then you've got it open. You're like, oh, hello. Just crop in on the sides. I mean, yeah, that could. Hang on a second. Crop in on the sides. How do you make this? How do you make the format page? Format. Where do I go to make it grey? Like, make it a different color. Where can I go for that? Let me just make it big again, because you know I need to make it big again. tutorial. Look up in the earlier chat. I gave you the way to do it in Google Docs. All right, let me look here. Did you? Oh, earlier in this chat. Hang on. Scrolling back, scrolling back. How far am I scrolling? Just out of curiosity. Let's have a look in the chat. Go earlier. How far back have I got to go? Live stream. Set it dark on the background. Yeah, because I'm just trying to find where to find how to set the background. Page setup. Apply to the whole document. There we go. I found it. And then, oh, look at that. I mean, it's better. Oh, and that's the other thing I like to do, format, that might actually help as well. Can I make it pageless? Does it make it all grey? It does if you make it pageless and all grey. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use that for any of my work documents, but I can use it for my stuff. So that's cool. Yep, I just found it. I just found it. File page setup, and I'm gonna go a little bit darker because I can, but that means I'm gonna need to make my font a little bit whiter. Oh, you can all see what I'm doing, by the way, because I'm doing it in the chat command page, by the way. But I have to make it wider so I can get to my colors for my fonts. Font color, white, there we go. There we go, that's what I've done. Got it. Got it, got it. That is totally doable, by the way. For anything, for my stuff, I can totally do it on my end, but I'm not going to be able to do it for anything for work related, but I can totally do it for my stuff. So I'm actually happy. I'm actually happy about that. Let me see, can I share that screen? I can probably share this screen. Share the screen with a little circle. There we go. See, I don't know why it's put it like that, but anyway, that's not how it was this morning when I tested it. But yeah, so because I make it pageless, because I like it when it's pageless, it'll do the whole thing, and then you can just crop it down and whoosh, I'm a happy camper. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you, live stream consultants, for that. That is awesome. I feel like we've had a win. All right. I'm taking it. I'm taking that win. Oh dear. Everyone else is like so bored. Chantelle doesn't know how to use documents. Oh. I wonder if it works in time. If it works in Google Docs file. No, in the spreadsheet versions, or sheets, that's what I'm looking for. I can have a theme. No, that's just for weird stuff. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it looks like in Sheets you don't get that option, that option for formatting the page. That's disappointing. Anyway, I'll have it for chat commands, and I'll have it for, you know, some stuff. I have to try the pageless mode. I love pageless. Like if you've got to print documents, you need the pages, right? Like don't even put, but if you're just making lists or documents for yourself or whatever it is, and you're not actually printing it, what's the advantage of having it by pages? Like if you're making a document that you need to refer to certain page numbers, blah, 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 you need pages. But if you're just making something like that, or even longer, whatever. Like for me when I'm doing like email tests, like I want to format emails and things like that, I just make a page list so that I can put all the different stuff in and then play with it, and anyway, I like pageless unless I'm printing, and then I definitely want pages. So let me know in the chat, is there a reason other than printing that you could see the advantage of having pages rather than going pageless mode? Because I might be just totally missing something important, because I only found it not that long ago, like maybe a couple of months ago, and I've sort of slowly done it on everything that I do that's not being printed. So yeah, anyway, my friends, I'm going to run away. I'm going to go and just do some other tasks, get some other bits and bobs done. I'm actually going to go and pat my dog and play with him outside for a minute. Give him a little run before the weather gets too hot. So I will catch you all later. You have an awesome week, and I'll be back next week, probably with a clearer brain. Hopefully. You can, possibly not likely. So yeah, that is that. I will catch you all next week. Bye now.